I had this idea. What if I asked Google for the most interesting places to photograph in the different neighborhoods I drove through? Stop and take a few pictures of whatever Google tells me. Well, it all sounded good, but then you end up here, the Seal Beach Pier. Now this is a great place in late afternoon. Not much the rest of the time of day. Unfortunately, I'm here during the rest of the time of day. Thinking I should probably still shoot something, I decided to set up and stop complaining. Of course, it looked horrible, so I stood there saying it wasn't much of a photograph, and that maybe I wouldn't even take one. I didn't. But the next place would be better, I thought. Off to Long Beach and the Queen Mary. If you're not familiar with the Queen Mary, it's an old British ocean liner that's been turned into a hotel. Always something good around here to photograph. If I look a bit like I'm looking for something to say in this clip, it's because I am. I mean, I've got to say something, right? So that did not work out the way at all I thought it would. It turns out Google doesn't tell you that the place is under construction either. Apparently they're having a big concert. I'm not sure if it's today or this weekend rather, or maybe next weekend. It looked like it was a huge event. So that is a bust. Now, it may have been kind of smart to stop at this point and reevaluate where I was, but you know, you kind of just left the British ship and you think about World War II and Churchill saying, never give up, never give up. And so I wasn't going to give up. I just decided to move forward. The next thing was going to probably be better. So we were putting the past behind us and we were off to Redondo Beach. So this is where we're supposed to be, Redondo Beach Pier. The pier isn't really all that much here. It does have a lot of shopping and restaurants the way it looks, but that's really not the pier part. That's on the shore. So it's this very short pier. Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna do some stuff. There's a building behind here that I think looks interesting. A little bit of the shoreline looked pretty interesting. So we're going to try a few things and hopefully we can get something that works for us. It was really a beautiful day, typical Southern California. I decided to start with the building. It seemed like one of those days where everything was going to be under construction. No photo of these trees today, but they are pretty cool. It's a little sad they didn't keep doing this to some of the newer trees. More construction. But you know what they say, when you get lemons, make lemonade. So I just kept looking and seeing what I could come up with. So Redondo Pier, yeah, definitely a possibility. And now we are supposed to be going to Manhattan Beach Pier. But again, here's something that Google doesn't tell you, and that is that Manhattan Beach Pier right now is blasted with people to the point where you would have a hard time getting close to it or parking anywhere near it. So we're going to bypass that and head down to Marina del Rey. and see how that works out. We have, I think it's 15 miles to go and a 41-minute drive in front of us. So, yeah, it'll be a while. Honestly, I had a commercial shoot that I had to be at for a couple hours. So there's this little break in between here where I was driving up that way, did my commercial shoot, and probably about, I guess, 5 o'clock, 5:30, we were done with that. Maybe it was 6, I don't remember exactly. But a couple hours before sunset, we were finished, and it was time to get back to my little project. So away we went. So I guess it doesn't surprise me that this would be one of the spots that they picked. This is one of my favorite areas. I shoot here quite a bit. Sailboats and big boats. If we weren't shooting all analog, I'd show you beautiful drone shots and all that kind of stuff because it just lends itself to it. Getting a little later at night, we're at, even with the 50, we're in color 50 ISO here. We are shooting at still 250 at like a little more than 11. If you're familiar with Hasselblad lenses, you can kind of move them around where you want. So we're right around 11 at 250, and it's a gorgeous night. Probably 71, 72, and well, we'll see if we come up with anything. Honestly, I kind of just forgot about shooting anything unusual and just enjoyed the evening. Shot a few nothing special photographs just because I found them interesting at the time. Some people wandering around, and I don't want to get too close to them, but I like the interaction between the sun hitting them, or maybe them in the shade being a little bit backlit, and then the water. I just kind of like it. It breaks up them from the background. Right in front of me here, there's a tree and some water that's in shade, and the people are right in the sun. And I might try it down this like so. Let's try this. I wanted to get at that first image, but I think I'm going to like this one better. Yeah, maybe I'm not going to like it at all. It was one of those nights where the weather was perfect, the lighting was perfect, everything looked really good, and there were no photographs that just leapt out at me and said, take this. They were all kind of exactly like that. You look through the viewfinder and you go, I'm not sure. So I just decided to enjoy the evening until the traffic settled down just a bit so I wasn't stuck in rush hour. So I think we're going to leave it there for the day. Getting to be just about 7 o'clock. I've got a little bit of a drive in front of me to get back home. But tomorrow we're heading inland to the east side of LA, and then we'll be wandering our way back and stopping at some places I actually have never stopped at. This is kind of where I'm used to being. I live on the west side here, but way south of here. And so the other, while I go there for work, I really never do anything other than work and leave. So I'm looking forward to that because I have no clue what to expect over there, and I have no clue what there actually is to photograph other than what Google told me. So we'll see you tomorrow. I did go back and shoot the next day, but after looking at the footage and everything, I really thought this whole project kind of didn't work, and I just don't want to prolong this too far. I like the idea, and what I've done in the meantime is spent a lot of time typing in the questions to ask, changing the way you say things, and it comes out a little awkward, but this was the closest I could get to getting some feedback or some information back about what I actually would go out and shoot. And I think I'm going to continue working on this and doing more of this, but in a little different way. I mean, it was fine going to one place. I didn't have a problem with that, but I don't think I was quite open enough to it. I don't think they were feeding me quite what I needed. What I'm really thinking is, like, you get someplace, and you spend some hours there. There was a spot in Echo Park where they sent me. It was just a building. It's this building right here, in fact. Nothing special, but what's great about it, it tells you about a neighborhood, about an area. And the great thing about living in California, and Southern California in particular, is that every little 5 miles is almost like a completely different area. It's really pretty amazing how this works. And I didn't think I really gave this a shot to do it the way that I would now do it. But as a first go, that's kind of the way it works, isn't it? You know, you try something and then it doesn't work out and you modify it and you try it again. So I'm pretty happy overall. I'm glad that I tried it, and I think I've got a plan, and I think it's going to turn into a little project. We're going to try 1 or 2 times with this new, quote that I have, or this new search that I have, and then we'll see what happens from there. Thank you for watching. I know you have many, many choices in content, so that you spent the time on here. I really, really, really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.